A very good afternoon to all the students who are present today to attend this online lecture for second year BCom semester 3 for the subject of Business Administration. I, Professor Shivangi Sethi, warmly welcome one and all. In the previous lectures for BA, we have already begun with the first chapter of Human Resource Management, and we have broadly discussed different topics for the same. Today, I will be giving you a quick recap, a quick overview of whatever we have done in the previous two lectures, and thereby we would begin with the new topics for the day. So those who had attended the previous lectures, they already know that for chapter number 1, Human Resource Management, we have discussed about what do you mean by a human resource, what do you mean by human resource management. We also discussed about a comparison, a difference between HRM and personal management. Why HRM is a modern approach, or why is it wider in scope, and why personal management is an older concept and a narrow concept. We have discussed everything in detail. In the previous lecture, we had also talked about the importance or the advantages of HRM. Not only that, we did a very important question as to what are the functions or what is the scope of human resource management, as to what are the things that are covered within the purview of HRM. So I would just give you a quick review of the things finished already. And today, as you can see, we will begin with the last topic for chapter 1, that is talent management. So students, have a quick review of the topics we have done. We had done with what do you mean by a human resource. I also explained you as to what do you mean by human resource management. I hope you remember that it was acquiring the resources, maintaining them, retaining them, developing their skills, and also properly utilizing them so that the objectives are achieved. Whose objectives? Organizational objectives as well as the individual goals of an employee. We had done with the characteristics of HRM. I had also explained you the different programs, the different systems that are used under human resource management. In detail, we had studied the comparison, the difference between personnel management and human resource management. Just to give a brief idea, you can remember one thing, that when we say HRM is wider or it is a modern version of personnel management, it is because of the concept that where human resource management is considering scientific recruitment, acquiring the resources, maintaining them, developing their skills, and also paying attention to the individual goals of an employee. On the other hand, personnel management would pay attention only to the acquiring of satisfactory and satisfied workforce. It would hardly pay attention to the development of skills or the personal goals and problems of an employee. We had discussed point by point the entire difference between the two. I hope you remember the points. In the previous lecture, we had talked on what do you mean by personnel management. So as you remember the definitions, the definition given by George R. Terry clearly stated that it is concerned with the obtaining and maintaining of satisfactory and satisfied workforce. We had discussed the characteristics of personnel management, the importance of human resource management. You can have a quick glance at the points we had discussed. Lastly, we had talked on the scope of human resource management, or what I can call the functions of human resource management. The functions that a human resource manager will have to perform for the human resources in an organization. So I hope you remember the scope, which began with the scientific recruitment of the employees, selecting them and appointing them in the organization. As a human resource manager, he will have to keep a record of all the employees being employed in an organization, whether past, whether present, or whether the prospective employees who can become the employees in the near future. Thereafter, he will also have to pay attention on the promotion, transfer, and the termination of the human resources. The human resources could be promoted to a higher level, could be brought down to a lower level also, that you call it demotion, could be transferred, and if the situation permits or if the human resources do not satisfy the requirements of organization, they can also be terminated. So the record of the same had to be kept by the human resource manager. Thirdly, he had to work for the training of HR. When I say training, it was to develop the skills and the abilities of human resources. Number four, the wages and the other incentives that are to be paid to an employee also had to be decided by the human resource manager. I hope you remember I had talked about the job evaluation, that how every job has to be evaluated and its net worth is to be identified, based on which the wages and the other incentives can be decided. Lastly, some service activities had to be provided, could be the health and safety benefits, the housing benefits, the family welfare benefits that were given to the employee. We also discussed with the remaining scope of human resource management, that is, the manager may have to sometimes enter into negotiation or bargaining with the employees so that their needs are satisfied and they work for the benefit of the organization. Number seven, the career planning had to be undertaken. The employees had to be motivated and encouraged how to achieve the higher positions in the organization. The personnel had to be developed, that is through training and executive development. Number nine, the quality of work life had to be paid attention to. The working conditions given to the employee had to be safe and sound. Lastly, appropriate and a proper company culture had to be developed. When I say company culture, such a culture where employees are fulfilling the orders of the superiors, they are maintaining the ethical environment, they are following the rules and the regulations that have been laid down in the organization so that a good company culture can be observed, thereby raising the prestige of the company. So I hope by now you are clear with all the topics that we have done up till now for chapter number 1. Without any further discussion now, we begin with the new topics for the day. Now for chapter number 1, that is human resource management, you also have to understand a small topic on talent management. Since the first lecture itself, we have been hearing the word talent. Whenever I talk on HRM, we have also been talking on how the development of employee has to take place, how to impart training to the employees so that their skills, abilities, and the talents are improvised. But what do you actually mean by talent management? So basically, it is nothing but attracting, retaining, developing the people with the correct aptitude, ability, or the talent so that the current and the future organizational goals can be achieved. I will repeat myself. When I talk on talent management, it is nothing but when the human resource manager or when the human resource department pays attention to attract and maintain the human resources with the required skill, ability, and the talent so that the needs are fulfilled. Could be the current needs and could be the future organizational needs. Let us have a look at the meaning also that we have discussed. So as I said, it is a conscious and a deliberate approach that is undertaken. What are we undertaking? So we are actually attracting. Now, when I say attract, We are talking about the people outside the organization. Under talent management, our focus shall not only be on the current employees or the present employees who are working in the organization, but also those who can be attracted from the outside environment. So, steps can be taken either to attract, otherwise, could also be on the development and retaining the people who have the necessary aptitude, abilities to meet the current and the future organizational needs. So, as I said, either you can attract people from outside or you can maintain and develop the people in the organization itself so that they have the necessary skills, abilities, talents to satisfy the organizational needs. Talent management will involve individual and organizational development in response to a changing and complex operating environment. Because a question should come to your mind as to why should we undergo talent management, or why should we work for the development of skills or retaining the people with the necessary skills. So you need to understand one thing, that the business is operating in an environment which is completely changing. It is a very complex environment. To give you an example, the technology is changing by leaps and bounds at a very great pace. So if we don't have people who can adapt to those changes or who can adapt to that new technology or new technique, then it will result to the failure of the organization and the targets will never be able to be achieved. So in order to adapt to the changing environment, you need to attract people or you need to develop the people in the organization with the required skills and talents. So those organizations who are adopting talent management as an approach will have to focus on the following points. To begin with, they will have to undergo recruitment. When I say recruitment, it has to be scientific recruitment. You want to recruit the right people in the organization, the right people who have the right skills and abilities that are required in the organization. Secondly, you also have to work for retaining or maintaining the employees in the organization. You need to implement such practices that will reward and support the employees. It should not happen that employees who are the key personnel of an organization. When I say key personnel, I mean those employees which are immensely talented and skilled and are an asset for an organization. They shouldn't be leaving the organization in the future, because if that thing takes place, it will be a great loss to the business as a whole. So under talent management approach, one also has to work for maintaining these people in the organization. Thirdly, as you know, one has to work for the development of employees as well. When I say development, we are working for the learning and the training of the employees so that they remain updated to the changes that are taking place in the environment. Number 4, we also have to work for providing leadership and high potential employee development. So specific development programs have to be undertaken for the existing and the future leaders. Number 5, the performance has to be managed. When I say performance, the performance of employees can be evaluated, can be appraised. That is also known as performance appraisal. You can also ask for feedbacks. You can appreciate the performance. Number 6, workforce planning has to be undertaken. Now, when I say workforce planning, as a human resource manager, he will have to estimate the requirement of human resource, because having skilled human resource is actually we have a shortage of the same. So to meet this kind of a shortage or scarcity, we can work through workforce planning so that the manpower demand and the manpower supply actually stays in balance. And number 7, that you have studied earlier also, a proper culture has to be developed, that is a positive, a progressive, and a good way of operating environment has to be developed in the organization. So this was all for talent management. You need to understand with the meaning of talent management and as to what are the things that comprises in a talent management approach. I hope you were clear with the topic, and with this we actually finished the first chapter of unit 1. I can say the first part of unit 1 that talked on human resource management. Let us move further. Now, students who had attended the lecture where I gave you a complete idea on the syllabus, they should be aware about the fact that Unit 1 had 3 parts to it. The first part or the first chapter that you have already done, that was human resource management. The second part that talks on what you can see on the slide also, EHRM. And the third part that we shall be taking up in the lectures to come, it is human resource planning. So today we begin with the second part, the second chapter of Unit 1 that talks on EHRM. Before I begin with the chapter, you can just have a look on the points, the topics that you have to cover for the same. So you have a topic on EHRM. You have to study the characteristics of EHRM, and you have some EHR activities such as e-recruitment, e-selection, and e-training. What are these topics we shall be discussing in the lectures to come. So let us begin with the very basic topic, that is EHRM. Now, in this chapter, you would have already studied or you would have already seen that even the first chapter had the word HRM, and even this subject or this chapter that you see has the word HRM. But see very clearly, there is a letter E that has been added before the word HRM. And that is actually the name of the chapter, EHRM. So you first have to understand as to you, what do you mean by EHRM? It is nothing but electronic human resource management. The today's focus of the lecture shall be only on the first 2 parts, that is, what do you mean by EHRM and what are the different characteristics of EHRM. The EHR activities we shall be taking up in the next lecture. So let me first begin with the explanation of EHRM. Before I give you the meaning of the same, I would like to ask you a question. Now you have been attending already 2 to 3 lectures on HRM. So by now I hope that you know the meaning of human resource management. When I say what do you mean by human resource management, can you try and tell me, can you think about what comprises in HRM? So it was to acquire the human resources, it was to maintain or to retain the human resources, it was to develop the human resources also, so that the organizational and the individual goals could be achieved. But then, in today's chapter, in this new chapter, we are not just concerned with the term HRM, but now the term has become EHRM, or what I can say, electronic HRM. So there has to be a slight addition to the same meaning. To the same meaning of HRM, there will be a slight modification today. When I say electronic HRM, we mean to say an integration of human resource management with the internet and the technology. That is to say, when IT gets merged with HRM, it becomes your electronic human resource management. Having studied this much, let us understand the meaning of EHRM. So as I said, it is defined as a set of e-policies e-methods, e-practices, and e-programs. Let us stop over here first. If you see, before every word, whether policy, whether method, whether practice, or whether program, we have joined an alphabet E. So, what do you mean by E? It is electronic. So, every such method or every such policy that we were following in human resource management, to name a few, procuring, retaining, developing, these things have now become electronic. And that is why the process is known as electronic human resource management. So let us go further and read again. Set of e-policies, e-methods, e-practices, and e-programs designed to maximize both individual and organizational goals. So are you clear, my dear students? The goals of individual and the goals of organization both have to be achieved. And the same thing we studied in HRM also. But here we are achieving the objectives by the methods and the policies or the programs that have become electronic, that have become online. Secondly, one more definition that will make it very clear, that when HR departments makes use of the internet and the related technologies to support their activities, the process becomes EHRM, and in the bracket you see clearly it is electronic human resource management. So I hope you are clear with the same. One more time I shall repeat and we move ahead. We are considering human resource management. We are considering the same activities, could be acquiring, maintaining, retaining, developing, and whatnot. But today, these activities are supported with the use of internet and the related technologies. And that is why the process becomes electronic human resource management. So with the detailed introduction and explanation of EHRM, we begin with the next topic for the day, the characteristics of electronic human resource management. You have to just keep one thing in mind, that when I say electronic human resource management, it is nothing but an integration, a combination of HRM and IT. That is a combination of human resource management and internet technology. You are using internet, you are using the other web-based applications so that the task of human resource management gets easier. So with this, we begin with the explanation of the characteristics. Number one that you see, it is a web-based HRM. Now this is very simple. When I say web-based HRM, it is nothing but electronic human resource management. So you can consider it to be an IT-based HRM, or the HRM which is based on, dependent on the internet and the technology. It uses the web-based technologies so that the human resource management services are provided in the organization. Whether it be planning, whether it be organizing, implementation, or application, we are using IT into it. Next, EHRM is different from HRIS. Now, what do you mean by HRIS? It is nothing but the Human Resource Information System. I repeat, it is Human Resource Information System. This is completely different from the word EHRM, because when we talk on HRIS, it is a system of collecting, acquiring, storing the data, the information pertaining to the human resource. You can collect, you can store, you can maintain, and thereby you can also retrieve the data that could be needed by an organization pertaining to human resource. So it is completely different from what you call EHRM, because EHRM is nothing but, as I said, a web-based HRM. You apply IT to HR. Number three, the innovative practices. We can say that EHRM is quite modern, quite flexible, and has application of number of innovative practices that were lagging earlier in human resource management. Today, if you see, the companies can receive the applications online. The job applications can be invited online. They can use their company's website for providing information or for recruiting people. They can even interview the people online. It could be via a video or it could be even via telephone. They can also work for the training and the development of employees electronically. So definitely EHRM is quite innovative process and quite an innovative concept. Number four that you see, we can say EHRM is quite scientific. Now we are talking about EHRM in comparison to human resource management, and that is why we say that it is more scientific as compared to HRM, because definitely it has provided more effectiveness to the organization. It has actually integrated HRM with the different applications of IT. It has definitely helped us reduce the time, energy, money, the cost that was initially required, but today reduced with the help of EHRM. Number five, procuring the personnel. So definitely, just like HRM, even EHRM also focuses on procuring the personnel, procuring the employees who have the proper skill, who have the proper ability, intelligence. But as I said, instead of mere recruitment or mere selection and training, it has now become e-recruitment, e-selection, e-training, and whatnot. So we are procuring personnel. The aim is still the same, but we have integrated the use of internet and technology into HRM. Next, you have complete integration of the HR systems. So it definitely has integrated all the systems of HRM. We have already studied the same earlier also. We have studied about the systems and the programs that are used under HRM. So all those have been integrated, but integrated with IT. That is, it has now become a web-based HRM. EHRM, as I mentioned just earlier, it is much more flexible as you compare to HRM. I mentioned in today's lecture that the business is operating in constant changing environment. There are changes taking place at a great pace, and because of which the organization has to remain flexible, has to remain adaptive towards the changes. So when we use EHRM in comparison to HRM, it is much more flexible and the changes can be introduced very easily with the changing business environment. So I hope you were clear with the characteristics of EHRM. Moving on with the EHR activities. Now we are not going to talk in detail about all the activities today, but I would just give you an idea about what do you mean by the EHR activities. So again, to repeat myself, EHRM is nothing but an integration between HRM and IT. That is an integration of human resource management with the information technology, with the use of internet and technology. So there are a number of activities performed under human resource management that are also covered in EHRM. But what shall be the word we will be introduced with? It is the letter E. It is the word electronic. So you can have a look at the various activities of EHR, that is e-staffing, e-recruitment, could be e-selection, could be e-learning, e-training, e-performance appraisal, and e-compensation. You can very well see in the diagram as well. So these are your EHRM activities. By reading this, you would have got an idea that almost all the functions and almost all the activities we have also studied in the first part of the chapter, that is HRM. But today, in EHRM, we have just added a letter E to it, becoming electronic. In this chapter particularly, you are going to study point number 2, that is e-recruitment. You will be studying what do you mean by e-selection. And lastly, you have a topic on e-training also that I shall not be taking up today. We shall discuss the EHR activities in the next lecture, where we will be discussing as to how the recruitment, selection, and the training can be done online or can be done electronically. So this was all for today's lecture, students. Let us have a quick recap of what we have done. We studied with the EHR activities. We studied the EHRM characteristics. I gave you an idea about the meaning, about the definition of EHRM and how is it different from HRM. These are the topics to be covered. And we had begun with the discussion of talent management. So I hope you are clear with today's lecture. I hope it was useful to you to understand the topic better. Now, if you have any doubts pertaining to the topics that we have discussed up till now, you can always comment down. You can always ask the doubts in the Google Classroom of your respective class, and I shall be answering to all your doubts at the earliest as soon as possible. Next lecture, we meet with the same topic, EHRM, where, as I said, we will discuss the EHR activities in detail. Until then, thank you so much for the day and happy learning.